Hello, we are going to be watching this. I will not be sitting here. I will be gone, but you'll get to watch this. I have no idea what it's about, but we are going to watch it. Afternoon, guys. Apparently, Principal Deputy Press Secretary Olivia Dalton Gago board Air Force One, which is weird. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll just watch it here. Afternoon, guys. Apparently, Principal Deputy. Check this out. Three tankers right next to each other. This is weird. It's weird. I was trying to see if I could find Air Force One, but I'm not really seeing it. Look at this as well. Look at this. Three tankers. It's the second column right there. Boeing RC. River joint. Where is it? I mean, I can't see Air Force One. It's up flying. We know it's flying, but I can't see it. No, it's nowhere to be found. We know it's there, but it's not where. Welcome. Now I don't know if this is any weird things, but this is seems weird to me that the press secretary or deputy press secretary would be aboard Air Force One, and apparently is making a message on the White House. So it's only audio, by the way. So it's yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting. That's why I got it here. So we're going to be watching this, or at least when we're going to wait till it gets on, hear about it, hear what they have to say, and then when we're done with that, of course, I'm gonna get the normal things up, work on a show for tonight or something like that. We'll figure it out after. Yeah, no clues as of yet, guys. I don't know why he's making statements from Air Force One. It appears weird. That's why I went live with it. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. Only reason why I went on live is because it's weird. You know, Air Force One. You know, that's weird. I'm back, by the way. Sorry about that. What's that? Half an hour now? Yeah, about 40 minutes. Yeah. Sorry. Now I'm a bit out of breath. Hopefully it'll go live soon. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Right. Well, I'll mute myself here in the background. I'll start work on the Tonight Show, so I'll just be muted here in the background. It's torture. Yes, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I wasn't. I was muted. What I was trying to say is that I'm seeing these columns of tankers which is so weird because you never see, like, there's 4 of them here, over here, 3 of them, P8 tankers all over the place. I was just muted. I'm so sorry. More, you know, tankers. These guys, they, you know, airborne fuel systems. And now we have this bad boy, Air Force One. That's Air Force One right there, guys. So I'm gonna keep a track on that. But if, in fact, Air Force One is up now, and we know that they're gonna speak from Air Force One, that speech is gonna start very soon, probably. They're probably gonna have to get into altitude, of course. I mean, they just took off, so yeah. So this is weird, you know. That's pretty weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And these columns of tankers, and you know, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. I haven't seen that before. You know, it's coincidentally weird. You know, got Flight Trader. We don't really have traction on that one, but I do see some so I do see some action from Russia. Not a lot. Unmute. Can you guys not hear me? You should be able to hear me. You got to turn yours up. Don't like it one bit, atheist. And especially, you know, atheists. You're one of those who usually has an explanation when some of these things happen. But you know, and you're saying you don't like it. That's when we start to think, is something happening? You know, so it's weird. And especially because if you're giving a press speech, or loud and clear, all right, okay, Desire, welcome in. So yeah, especially if you're giving a press briefing, why give it in Air Force One, not in the White House? Because this is from the White House. Why not give it from the White House? So, and it's weird that then they pick, oh, let's give it on Air Force One. You know, that's weird. That's really weird. So we're gonna continue to track Air Force One. For those who just joined here, this is Air Force One. We are tracking it. We are waiting for a Press Secretary Olivia Dalton gaggle aboard Air Force One, audio only. We're waiting for that to go live. Yeah. Tom Clancy shit going on? Yeah. Something like it, you know. I mean, listen, I don't know what. All I know is that this is a lot of weird circumstances that is occurring, you know. A lot of weird circumstances. We don't know what it is. I mean, they're announcing. I mean, this also comes as Israel is preparing their advance, which we know because Israel has just given the go ahead for everything works out. All right, has just given the go ahead to turn off all internet on Saturday. So tomorrow, Gaza will be turned off from the internet. Everything will be turned off in Gaza. Like everything. You know, and they've told them to evacuate. We know this is happening. We don't know if they're. I showed you guys a video yesterday of them of Iranian tanks moving up. Iran could be moving. Syria could be moving. We don't know what's happening. Things are going on. This is really exciting. So we're waiting for this, of course, and it should be live. I hope to God it's live. It is live. I mean, it says live, and yeah. I know how live looks like. But yeah, continue to track Air Force One here in the background as we're getting ready for this very, very weird thing occurring here today. It is weird. Oh.
As you know, we're on our way to Philadelphia, where we're going to deliver. The president is going to deliver remarks at an event as part of our Investing in America tour. There, the president at the Port of Philadelphia will announce that the seven regional clean hydrogen hubs that were selected to receive $7 billion in bipartisan infrastructure law funding to accelerate the domestic market for low-cost clean hydrogen. The president's investments in infrastructure and clean energy are a core tenet of Bidenomics and are also helping us cut harmful pollution, create good-paying jobs, and meet our historic climate goals. I also just want to say a word about the president's engagements this morning. This morning, the president, before departing the White House, had an opportunity to meet with his national security team and then had an opportunity to spend more than an hour on a Zoom call with family members of the 14 Americans still unaccounted for following this week's horrific attacks in Israel. Today's call was led by Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs, Roger Carstens, and included a couple members of each family. The president conveyed directly to these families that they have been in his prayers and reaffirmed that the U.S. government is doing everything possible to locate and bring home their loved ones. Several of the family members shared information about their loved ones and their personal experiences as they endure an unimaginable ordeal. White House and State Department officials also stayed on the call to answer any additional questions that these family members had about the ongoing efforts. I also finally just want to say a word about the breaking news that we just saw about the reports of a Reuters photojournalist killed and an Al Jazeera and AFP journalist both seriously injured in southern Lebanon. Our heartfelt prayers are with the families, the family of the journalist who was killed, and also our prayers are with the injured journalists for their full and swift recovery. We know that the work that you all do is incredibly dangerous, and today is a reminder of that. And we just hope that those who are injured are taken care of swiftly. That.
Can you comment on the some House members that were in the national security in the sit room today, and who was there and what was discussed?
I don't have any further details to confirm on that this time, but we may have a little bit more detail to share with you a little bit later today.
You can confirm they were there for sure?
I don't have any details to confirm with you about any meeting today, but of course we have engaged regularly with members of Congress, and we may have more to share on this front later today.
Is there anything you can share on communication with the House on the supplemental?
So we've been in regular touch with Congress about our needs. We, of course, have communicated publicly and privately about the importance of making sure that there's no lapse in assistance to our partners. Obviously, there are appropriated and authorized funds in place already for Ukraine and Israel, but we want to ensure there's no lapse in either. And, you know, as we've said, as the president has said, we'll be putting forward a request for additional assistance to meet those critical needs. As you know, we look to support Ukraine in the face of this brutal and unprovoked war of aggression by Russia that unfortunately continues, and to meet the needs of Israel in this hour of need.
Considering traveling to Israel at any point to show solidarity with the government there like you did in Ukraine earlier this year?
I certainly have no presidential travel to preview for you today, but I would just note that Secretary Blinken was there yesterday, making very clear our commitment. Secretary Austin there today, making very clear our commitment. The president having done 4 different calls with Prime Minister Netanyahu today, or to date, and continuing to be in regular touch with not just the Prime Minister, but heads of states of our Quint allies and other nations around the world as we continue to respond to this. You know, we're going to continue that level of significant engagement as we continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with Israel and make sure that they have every level of support in the days and weeks ahead.
Can you talk about what the call was like for the president talking to those families? Was he emotional during the call? What was that like for him to hear those personal stories?
I haven't had a chance to speak to the president personally about this yet, but I know that it was an emotional call. I mean, these are families who don't know where their loved ones are today, and I can't imagine what that must feel like. Certainly, Secretary Blinken spoke to many of these families yesterday and heard similar accounts of the ordeal that they have been through, the unimaginable trauma that continues. And so I imagine that was a similar experience the president had today, and I expect you might hear a little bit from the president today about that.
What's the status on humanitarian corridors in Gaza? Is it feasible, and is it something that U.S. assets that are being deployed in the region are able to support?
I don't have anything on assets to share with you, but I can tell you that the United States continues to aggressively work with our Egyptian and Israeli counterparts, both to navigate the possibility and create the conditions for the possibility of corridors for both safe passage for civilians who want to leave Gaza and flee the danger, and also for humanitarian corridors to allow humanitarian assistance that is critically needed to replenish stockpiles within Gaza. Both of these things are critically important. We continue to talk to our Egyptian and Israeli allies about the importance of those things, and as well, I would add, also with the UN.
Does the president support Israel's order to evacuate northern Gaza?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Does the president support Israel's order to evacuate northern Gaza?
I'm not sure the nature of your question. I'm not going to, weigh in on Israel's military operations, but I think what you're seeing here is Israel trying to mitigate civilian casualties, right? And certainly we've been very clear that the right outcome here is not one more casualty, whether that be an innocent Israeli civilian or an innocent Palestinian civilian.
Do you have any comment on Israel's reported use of white phosphorus munitions?
We have not been able to independently verify that, so that is not something I would want to speculate about or weigh in on at this time.
The UAW announced they're not expanding strike targets against Detroit automakers. Is that a signal to the White House that a deal is getting closer?
I don't want to get out my crystal ball here on this, but I will say that Gene Sperling, Acting Secretary of Labor, Julie Su, have been working very, very hard to stay in touch with both parties, and we've been continuing to encourage both parties to stay at that negotiating table and reach a favorable outcome. That continues to be what we're doing, but I'm not going to preview anything further.
There are reports that Hamas is setting up roadblocks to keep civilians from moving to safety. If that is true, should the Israelis not move forward with any plans for any ground invasion?
What just noted here is the brutality of Hamas, right? Once again, they are using civilians as human shields. We saw that. We've seen that every day since last weekend when they brutally murdered 1,300 civilians, kidnapped people, took them back to Gaza to use them as human shields without regard for Israeli life, without regard for Americans' lives who are among that group of people, as we now know, and without regard to Palestinian lives. Hamas continues to engage in tactics like using tunnels under residential buildings to conduct their operations, holing up in hospitals and mosques and schools. This is a terrorist organization with no regard for human life, with no regard for civilians. And frankly, it is barbaric and brutal, and we've got to continue to call it out.
What's the reason for the president's trip to Delaware to this afternoon?
The president is making a brief stop at home.
And on Monday, he'll be going to Colorado. Do you have any information on what he'll be doing during that stop?
I don't at this time, but we may have more for you later today.
Do you have any update on the number of Americans that have asked the State Department for help getting out of Israel that would be taking these charter flights or other options?
I know, obviously, the first charter flights left today from Israel to points in Europe. I would want to refer you to the State Department for the latest data on the uptake on that. I think we're landing, so I've got to conclude it here, guys. Thanks. Thanks, Olivia.
Really? Was it necessary to take a flight from fucking what? Fort Joint Base Andrews to Philadelphia International Airport? Was that necessary? Like, I mean, how much money does that thing cost to fly? You couldn't have done this in the White House? I mean, what the fuck is the point of that? What? Why do it in Air Force One? What the fuck was the point of that? How much money does that thing cost to fucking launch? A lot of fucking money, I tell you what. That's fucking bullshit right there. Why? Just why? You know, I mean, yeah. So Give me a second here. We're gonna go upon doing some more stuff here. Well, actually, we can just track this right now. Well, let's land it. So, well, it didn't end, guys. We're good. What the fuck was that? What was the point of that? Don't know. That seems like a waste of money and fuel. Like, I know you want to do a press briefing, but why did you have to do it in the fucking Air Force One? I think because, what? It cost $1 million to take off? No, probably doesn't, but, you know. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, it costs a lot of money to probably get off and all that bullshit. So what the fuck was the point of that? There's absolutely no point of that. So that was apparently the Deputy Secretary of Press that you saw live there, or heard live. Yeah. I think that was a colossus waste of everyone's time. But, however, we will continue. With bringing out some news. And I'm just setting up the things here in the background. Getting your things ready here. We're gonna bring up 88 speed on this thing right here. Right. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. I mean, I could tell you what, you know why the American economy isn't doing so goddamn great? Yeah, because they used the Air Force One for a 5-minute brief. That's why your economy isn't doing that great. You used the fucking Air Force One for a 5-minute fucking brief. And what the fuck was the point of that? And what's going on here? What the fuck? Oh, it's because I'm not in the military. Goddamn, it's like, what the fuck was just happened right there? Holy shit. There we go. Alright. Yeah, we'll bring you on over here. 1 second. And here you go. So, yeah. I'm gonna go make myself some news here in the background. Because we're gonna need that for tonight. So, I guess I am just going to do that. You can get to watch this. I guess that is it's the best I could do right now. Don't really have any news. If anything really pressing comes out, we'll give it to you. But other than that, I don't really have much. So, yeah. We got areas turning on in Ukraine now. Sounds like it comes from Kramatorsk or from Donetsk region.
I've got my uniform. Sorry about that.
שבעוד 24 שעות
Good afternoon, Witchy. For those who are here, the Prime Minister of Israel will make statements very, very soon. We're going to see if we can find that. What do you think I gotta search for? Israel PM. Oh, they've actually got a official YouTube of the Prime Minister. Right. That real? Oh, it is. Look at that. 2015. Well, that's now. Yeah. So he has to make speeches in about what? That's today, 2015. That's about 6 minutes ago, but he's not live. The only problem is I'm not sure if he's alone making speeches. That could mean that he's not gonna do it live. Oh, sorry. In English, he could be trying to do it in another language, which is Israeli. He could be trying to do it in Israeli, and I don't speak that. So I couldn't tell you what he was saying, but we'll figure it out. And all these guys, they're speaking Israeli. The fuck kind of? Sorry. Well, I guess you subscribe to it. Yeah. So we'll go back and watch Gaza, and then I'll have it ready here in the background.